So how do you stay motivated when you're feeling down? So here it is, the fourth week of January already. And it gets dark early in the evening or the late afternoon. Now, I know it's been getting lighter out every day since winter solstice or the first day of the winter. But it still feels like it gets dark so early. And it's those dark days of winter. You get home from work and all you feel like doing is sitting on the couch, wrapping up in the blanket, vegging out, and not doing anything until you go to bed. And you don't feel motivated to do anything. Anybody ever feel this way? I know I do sometimes. Now, true, it's more common to feel this way in the dark days of winter, but it can happen at any time of year. So today I'm going to talk about some great ways to get motivated when you're feeling down. So if you're feeling like you're having one of those days, those weeks, those months even, when you're feeling down and you just can't seem to get motivated, what can you do about it? Very often we're looking for some spark of inspiration to help motivate us and move us forward. But when you're feeling down, it's not easy. You need something to break that negative mindset loop you find yourself in sometimes and to help get you back on track. Now, it's normal to feel down sometimes. It's natural for whatever reason it is, whether it's your family, your spouse, your relationships, work, the weather, all of it, or all of it seems to have you overwhelmed, whatever the reason is. Now, motivation defined is why a person does something. What are the driving forces behind our actions? And very often there are goal-oriented behaviors. Now, most commonly, there are two types of motivations that people will describe. The first one is extrinsic. And extrinsic is usually you're motivated by an outside force or person, and it's stimulated by either trophies or rewards or money or social praise to get us to do something. And the other form of motivation is intrinsic motivation, or some people call it internal motivation. And that arises from within us. And that usually stimulates our emotions, whether it's anger or fear or happiness. And it usually arises from our thoughts and our values and our goals that we have for ourselves. So what we're going to look at here is intrinsic motivation. So we can look at different things that will inspire us to change our emotions, to help motivate us to do something that is in alignment with our goals and what we feel about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. And what I want to show you is to focus on improving your mindset to help motivate you to move forward. You see, because your mindset is a way of thinking or a set of beliefs that determines your actions and behaviors. And if your mindset is off and you feel like you're stuck in this negative mindset loop, then usually what happens is you're not motivated to do anything. And for whatever reason, like you said, whether it's the weather, whether it's a difficult relationship with our spouse or our family, whether it's work related, all of those things together can also overwhelm us. But how do we break this loop and help motivate us to move forward? Now, very often we can be feeling down because we've lost sight of what our goals are and what we want to accomplish. And so when this happens, for whatever reason, we start to feel down. But whatever it is that's got us in this negative cycle, we need something to break this cycle and get us back on track so we can focus on the things that we want to do. Now, what I'm going to talk about right now is some simple things that will help you do that, to help break this down cycle and get you back on track. Now, the first one is to revisit your goals. Now, if you haven't set goals, then it's to actually sit down and write a piece of paper out and start with some things you will want to accomplish today or tomorrow. Because if it's the weather that's got you down or the darkness, the dark days of winter that has you down, very often it's a matter of setting goals for what you want to accomplish after you get home from work and it's dark. It may be exercising, it may be weight loss, it may be doing chores around the house, whatever it is. But it's sit down and write specific goals for yourself. Now, I could sit here and probably do a whole weekend course on just setting goals. I have my own prime method of setting goals. But for now, what I want you to do is I want you to list out some specific goals that you can do for yourself today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week to help you break that negative mindset loop that you're in and help motivate you to move forward in a task-oriented way. That's number one. The second thing is to phone a friend. Remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that great show? And one of the ways, if you were stuck on a question, you could use the phone a friend option because a friend would help you out. So when the phone a friend, what I want you to do is call somebody, either a really close friend, a family member, a colleague maybe that you're good friends with, so that they can possibly help you to break the down cycle that you're in. It doesn't mean that they're going to solve your problems, but very often if you're phoning a friend, they may inspire you to move forward. Just talking with somebody and catching up on the things that they're doing that day. Or what did they do over the weekend? Or did a trip that they went on, or a trip that you went on that you could explain to them. And before you know it, you're starting to get into a happier attitude and a happier frame of mind, and clicks you back into you focusing on what your goals are and what you want to accomplish. And then that gets you out of that down cycle. The next thing is you could exercise. Now, it doesn't have to mean going to the gym. You might not have the option of going to the gym or be able to afford a gym. There's lots of things you can do right within the comfort of your own home. You can stand up on the couch and do some squats standing in place. Just squatting 10 times. You could lay down on the ground and do push-ups. Now, if you can't do a full push-up, do push-ups where your knees are on the ground. Do push-ups where you're standing up, leaning forward to get against the couch and moving back and forth. Something to get yourself moving. Do a few jumping jacks. Do hands overhead and pulling back like you're doing a lat pull-down machine. Just doing this 10 times will help activate your endorphins and your enkephalins. Will improve your state of mind and your mood right there. Breaking that feeling of being down right there and get you moving back towards where you want to be. Another one is to get outside in nature. I went for a hike this past weekend up in Bear Mountain, New York, and I try to hike every week if I can. If I don't hike often enough, I usually get the old John Muir quote in my head that says, "The mountains are calling and I must go." But there's something about getting out in nature, whether it's just going for a walk around your block, going out into the yard where there's trees and sunshine. If it's something to have you breathe fresh air, there's a calming nature for being outside in the elements. And this is a very good way of getting yourself to break that down cycle. You get back from a brisk walk or being in the backyard or walking down by the beach or on the trail, and there's a sense of calm that comes over you. A relaxation feeling. And this again will help you break that down cycle and motivate you to do more that evening or to do this each night or every other day. And it keeps you on track for staying focused on what you want to accomplish. And another great idea is to read inspiring quotes. They say a happy thought in the morning can change your whole day. And I find myself reading inspirational quotes, which is why I very often post them and post quotes of my own, is that because if you hear the right thing at the right time from the right person, it can change your day, it can change your week, it can change your life. So if you're feeling down, sometimes a go-to place to go where you can read some inspirational quotes that can change your attitude, remind you what you need to focus on, to switch it from a negative mindset loop to a positive mindset loop. And if you focus on improving your mindset, this helps you to develop what I call a positive, proactive mindset, where you're focusing on the positive aspects of your life. And you focus on the fact that the world is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And that you will start to make things happen. And I know sometimes it's simple as the dark days of winter getting you down, or it's the weather and it's rainy, or you just had a tough week at work. But we don't want a tough day or a tough evening to turn into a tough week, to turn into a tough month. We need these things to help us break those cycles. So let me finish up with a few quotes to kind of help inspire you and motivate you to get back on track. The first one here is Ramez Sassoon says, "Why quotes are important. They make you realize great truths, inspire you, and encourage you." Winston Churchill said, "Attitude is the little thing that makes a big difference." Abraham Lincoln said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." Maya Angelou said, "We may encounter great defeats, but we must not be defeated." Zig Ziglar said, "Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will." Eleanor Roosevelt said, "With the new day comes new thoughts and new strength." And mine is, awaken your mind and see clearly the path that leads to the accomplishment of your goals. Well, I hope this information helped you out. Have a great day, and as always, remember, be positive, be motivated, be focused, and be well.